Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to round 2 of the USRL Nationwide Series. From the high banks of Daytona, we've come all the way out west to Phoenix International Raceway for 100 laps here under the sun. Starting on pole tonight. I'm here with my partner Shane Doty, and we are here to bring you this what should shape up to be a fantastic race. We've got quite a small field. Qualifying was very interesting today. A lot of cars made contact with the wall, and therefore their laps didn't count. But starting on pole tonight, in the number 81 car at a speed of 27.873 seconds, is Pedro Oliveira.
Starting second in tonight's event is Cody Wenzen, the number 88. He hit a 28 flat. Starting third is the number 94 of Brittany Grimm, and she hit a 28.2. Starting fourth is the number 91 of Quinton Young. His first race of the season he ran a 28.3. Starting fifth in the number 22 is Ethan Lane, who we believe has a great chance to win tonight. Starting sixth is the number 48 of Brandon Smizer. And rounding out the field, starting seventh is the number 02 of Jesse Kaplan.
And that's the starting lineups for tonight's field. The lights are off on the pace car. We'll be going green this time. Shane, before we get to the line, it's a somewhat hot and humid day. What do you think we'll expect out of these nationwide cars?
Well, after watching practice, the one turn I want to emphasize that could very well give drivers the most problems is probably turn 3. You never want to overshoot it. Being that it's a hottie, there isn't as much grip as there would be at a track like up north where it's a lot colder. For sure, you're going to want to enter the corner, especially on colder tires. You're going to want to make sure you can get into the corner as safe as you can be and spin the car around and just keep the fenders on it to the end.
Well, absolutely. It's certainly a track known for green flag runs with so few cars. We're probably going to see that as Pedro Oliveira brings that Europe car, 81 Chevy Impala, off of turn 4. Pace car is off, and we're green here.
Pretty equal as they go into one is Cody Wenzen, the number 88, side by side with Pedro as they come out of 2.
And further back in the pack, Jesse Kaplan's going to make it 3 wide through the middle. He's going to pick up a spot. He was one of the faster cars in practice, got into the wall earlier in the race. Going into turn 3, you have 3 cars sliding up the track. 2 of them made contact. Jesse Kaplan goes underneath them both on the apron and passes them 3 wide there.
Yeah, another 3 wide situation into 1 as Quinton gives way to Jesse, and it looks like Ethan will try and follow as well.
And up for the lead, the 88 car's in the wall. That's going to allow Pedro Oliveira to take the spot back for the lead now.
Pedro, of course, your last week's winner, taking home the trophy, and all he has to do today is have a nice solid day, and he will extend his point lead.
Well, as we come across this start lap 3, it looks like a lot of guys are really anxious here as one car's into the inside wall. Going down to Jesse Kaplan's dead sideways. We've got 2 cars around further in the back. Caution's out here.
Brittany Grimm looks like she got a piece of that too, and Ethan, that front end is not looking too good. 2 of the guys who we believe could have won this race today, Jesse Kaplan and Ethan Lane, caught up in your first caution of the evening.
Yeah, we're going to want to take a good look at it. Looked like there's almost 2 separate incidents getting into turn 1. First, I was looking at Jesse Kaplan, who going into the turn gets sideways. That's what I was looking at. But further in the back, it looks like a few other cars might have been distracted there and looped it themselves.
Yeah, and it looked like Ethan took a very shallow entry. And talking about earlier about the weather and how the track is a lot warmer as it used to be different parts of the year, definitely that could have been a huge factor for Ethan there as he sent it around and there was nowhere for Brittany Grimm to go.
Yeah, she has some heavy front end damage right now. Ethan got hit both in the front and rear there. He's really going to be hoping that he's able to get a lot of this damage fixed.
As the 88 of Cody Wenzen stays out, as it appears as if the rest of the field will come in, and Quinton Young will also follow him.
And Shane, we're only on lap 4 here, but do you think tires make that much of a difference, even with that few laps on these tires?
Well, it really depends on the situation, but for Cody, I think personally that was the wrong move. you're sitting second. He was up front. I would have came in, but if you're a guy like Quentin Young, who's in the back half of the field, you want to maybe pull that strategy early now, because when you have nothing to lose, maybe see how these no tires fare against these guys on pressure tires, and I think that's basically what's going to help him, maybe.
And as we look at that, it looks like Ethan Lane's pulled off, which is really unfortunate for him. There's a long race ahead of him. He managed to only make 3 laps before getting called up or caught up in a big wreck there.
Yeah, Brittany Graham continues to have service done to her car, as Jesse Kaplan is out of the pits, and he also, I don't believe he got any damage, so looks like he is all good to go here.
Now, listening to the chat among drivers right now, it seems like there are a lot of hurt feelings for this lap 3 incident. Ethan Lane did go around himself, but after the wreck, you had the 94 come in and hit him, and whether or not he thinks that she might have been at fault is something you can clearly hear them express right now over driver chat.
That was kind of like one of those incidents where one thing happened and then another thing followed. It's personally, I think it was just a racing incident. Sure, you could make statements about how Brittany might have been able to check up a little bit earlier, but I mean, when the track's blocked, there's really nowhere else for anybody to go.
And these drivers have to know that it's lap 3 of 100. You've got 97 more miles ahead of you. Nobody is thinks they can win this race on lap 3, and most everybody knows in their mind that they can lose this race right now.
Yeah, definitely. Being 100 laps, 100 miles, you want to, especially if you're running for points, you want to have that attitude of being conservative and giving a lot now. Maybe till later in the race, you might want to put more of the taking attitude on, as Brittany Graham, who went a lap down into that caution, will get your first way around.
Yeah, lights are off on the pace car, so she's going to have to hustle that car around if she wants to try to stay with this lead pack there. Looks like she managed to get some damage fixed, but she's going to need a little more yellow flag time for her to get that front end perfect.
Yeah, definitely. How crunched in that front end is, I would worry about overheating if I were her. But
so it's the 88 of Cody Wenson, who stayed out here in that National Guard Ford Mustang. Going to be very interesting on tire strategy. As pace car's off, he's going to take him to the green.
And almost exploding out of the gates goes Cody, as Pedro on the pressure tires has no problems getting around Quentin Young, and Jesse Kaplan will try and follow here as these guys work their way out of turn 2.
Ooh, Pedro got real loose there in the second spot. There goes Jesse Kaplan threading the needle between the two. Oh, he makes contact with both of them getting into turn 3. Goes up the hill. Everybody manages to keep it going just fine. He's got those newer tires. He's faster as he pulls to the inside of Pedro Oliveira going into turn 1.
Great save by Quentin, and as Jesse will try and complete the pass, at least the top roof, having the more momentum off of 2, and they're dead even coming down the backstretch.
Yeah, Pedro stayed right on his quarter panel, didn't give him an inch coming out of turn 2. And they're going to be dead even going into turn 3. And coming out of turn 4, it looks like Jesse's going to finally be able to clear him. But even with those older tires there, he was hanging in and just going into turn 1. He dips his nose out a little, gets Jesse thinking he might try a move. He doesn't. Oh, and Jesse gets loose into turn 1. He spins it around. He backs it into the wall. Pedro Oliveira is involved. Caution's out.
Your point leader hard in the outside wall, and looks to have some right front damage. I think that one was just also a racing incident. Looks like Jesse might have got loose there, and there's nowhere for Pedro to go.
It almost looked like a carbon copy of what happened on lap 3. Jesse Kaplan just getting into the corner, got loose. He tried to stay in the throttle, keep it off the wall. Pedro Oliveira did all he could to avoid hitting him. He gets a little right front damage in this incident, but it looked very similar to that lap 3 incident. You gotta wonder, they are running a fixed setup. Are these setups giving them a handful to drive here?
That could definitely be true, and I was looking there, maybe seeing if Pedro might have locked up the brakes, but he didn't, so really nowhere for the number 81 of Pedro Oliveira to go there on that wreck.
And as we come by the pit road entrance, pit road is open, but it seems like we really aren't going to have many takers. Leader Cody Wenson stays out. 91 stays out, and looks like everybody else is on pit road to most likely fix damage. All the other cars do have some damage.
And Cody Wenson and Quentin Young both of them have not made a pit stop yet this race, and we're still very far away from being able to make it on fuel, so they have nothing to lose, looks like so far. Absolutely.
So right now it's going to be in the hands of the crew members of these cars to try to knock out some of these fenders. Pedro Oliveira, as a second glance, doesn't seem to have too much damage. Brittany Grimm, who was involved in that first lap crash, her crew's done a pretty good job getting it straightened out. Whether or not she's going to be able to maintain a good pace, we'll have to wait and see, but the car looks pretty straight from our point of view.
Yeah, if she can just get that car fixed the best, get the crew can get the car fixed the best they can. Brittany definitely still has a shot to get back in this thing. Plenty of laps to go, and we keep having cautions like this. That'll only help her.
Yeah, a few other cars involved in the who have some damages. Brendan Schneider in the 48 car. He just leaves pit road in time right now to avoid going a lap down. He has some right front damage. His crew did a pretty good job fixing it that last caution. We'll step aside here, CFI. We'll be back with the round 2 of the USRL Nationwide Series after this. This is lovely. And we're back here for round 2. Cody Wenson is going to lead us to green here, but on the outside, the 91 gets a great start, and he's going to lead him off into turn 1 as the leader. Going down 2 turns, 1 and 2. He tries to chop the nose on Cody Wenson. He gets it done. Going out of turn 2. Cody's still looking for the lead there. Nose to tail going into turn 3.
First time all race, Quentin's been up front. We'll see what he can do for it as Jesse Kaplan, who's a lap down, closes in.
Yeah, that's still a critical battle. If Jesse can manage to get the wave around, or manage to get on the lead lap without having to use the wave around, that gives him about an extra minute where he can get his damage fixed while he's on pit road. As the battle for the lead, Quentin Young coming off the corner, gets right on the 88's door. They're side by side for the lead again going into turn 3.
That was a clever crossover. Then anyone puts the 88 in the wall. They save it.
Oh, he got put heavy into the wall. He's got heavy right side damage. Quentin Young still remains your leader. Jesse Kaplan going for trying to get his lap back the hard ways. Now about 3 car lengths off the leader.
Yeah, it looks like Cody's okay as he's closing back on in on Jesse Kaplan as the 91 of Quentin Young goes wide going into 3.
That might open the door for Jesse Kaplan to get his lucky dog back. And going down the front stretch, all 3 are nose to tail. 2 of them are in this. One of them's just trying to get his damage fixed, trying to get back into this. Quentin Young slides high out of the corner. The 02 doesn't get a good run. The 88's going to try to pass him on the high side for really no position as the 02 gets very loose going into turn 3. Manages to hang on to it.
Yeah, Jesse Kaplan's still fighting to get his lap back as Quentin looks to extend his lead over Cody Wenzen.
Yeah, it looks very hairy out there. But we'll take a break from the action right now. The driver of the 22 caught up on lap 3, Ethan Lane, is with us. Ethan, it was very early into the race. Looks like you got loose going into turn 1. What happened there?
Well, it all started pretty much out of turn 2 the previous lap. The 91 of Quentin decided to chop my nose off going into the dog leg, and then I got under him in 3 and 4, and on the front stretch he just pretty much decides to shove me down and put me in the wall, and had no control of the car from there.
Yeah, it certainly was a very unfortunate ending. Crew wasn't able to get the damage fixed there.
Damage was to repair. Car would have been just like horrible the entire race. I wouldn't have been able to control it.
Well, that certainly is a shame. It was a very beautiful Penske number 22 Ford Mustang, I guess you could call it. Any sponsors you want to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank Hertz and my team for giving me such a strong car, as we tested earlier, and pretty much the fastest no matter what run it was, short run, long run, mid run. We'll be back at Vegas pretty much just as strong.
Alright, that's a good attitude after a very early exit for Ethan Lane. Thank you, Ethan.
Thank you.
Back to the action as the number 91 of Quentin Young is this kind of thing is we got a caution.
We've got 2 cars that have gotten together further in the back. It was the 02 of Jesse Kaplan and the 48 of Brandon Schneiser. They were both not on the lead lap. Looks like going into the turn. The 48 slightly overdrove it, got into the 02, and they both went hard into the outside wall in turn 2, just like we've seen for the previous 2 cautions.
And to looks like Jesse's defense, he got a little bit loose and had to check up, and Brandon maybe didn't see that, and nowhere for him to go.
Yeah, it's really turning into a survival of the fittest right now. Jesse's car, although it was pretty heavily damaged, didn't look to be too slow. He was up with the lead 3 cars, doing everything he could to get back onto the lead lap. He was racing with them hard. The 48 had just come off of pit road after getting his damage fixed, and going into turn 1 the next lap, that's when they did make contact. As pit road is open, looks like the 2 leaders that were racing up front there, the 91 and 88, are both down.
Yeah, you're on the edge right now, making it from fuel. I do not believe from here on out they will make it. So, but these guys haven't been on pit road at all, and we're now a quarter way through the race. So, good call by Quentin and Cody to come on pit road.
Absolutely, as the other car in this, Pedro Oliveira, is falling a lap down. He will be able to get on the lead lap here now. As we look at these cars on the 91 of Quentin Young, the right side tires are on. The crew is going around to the left side. It looks like everybody's going to be taking 4 tires here. Quentin Young's crew has dropped the jack. He is pulling off, and he will be the first off pit road here.
Looks like the number 88 of Cody Wenzen might be taking some damage here, as he is still in that pit box for an extended stay.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. They got together after that restart a few times, really. Going into turn 3, the 88 got into the wall hard. looks like that might be the damage on the right side they're trying to fix. Quentin Young, so far, is still the only car to come off pit road. Everybody else is on damage repair right now, it looks like.
And they're off to beat the pace car off pit road and circle back around. We do believe Pedro Oliveira will be the lucky dog as we wait for confirmation on that.
That certainly would be a good thing for tonight's pole sitter. He showed he's have speed. He's been on pit road trying to fix damage multiple times. He's lost a lap doing that. And right now we've only got about 2 competitive cars up at the front. Everybody else is just on major damage control. It would be nice to see him be able to get his lap back and get his damage fixed and be able to compete for the win.
Yeah, and especially for Pedro coming off that strong win last week, the last thing you want to do is have a bad points day today, and definitely probably his number 1 goal right now is to get back in the lead lap.
Absolutely, as Jesse Kaplan is coming off of pit road now. He has some pretty severe damage, and it was an interesting car before the race. It was Jeff Ramsdell, My Little Pony, number 02. But now it's got about all 4 corners dented. It's got war marks all over it right now.
Yeah, I don't even think it's a square race car anymore, really.
Excuse me. But anyways, Jesse Kaplan's doing all he can to wheel it. The left front fender looks like his wheel's sticking out pretty severely. Hood's buckled, but he's just trying to limp this Mustang around.
Looking at that 94 Brittany Grimm in that car looks a lot better than the last time we talked about it on the first caution, and she very well might be back in this thing as we get ready to go green.
Yeah, lights are off on the pace car. Pace car's pulling off. And it looks like Brittany Grimm is going to get a great start on the leader here. She will lead that lap as Quentin Young did not get going there. Now going into turn 2, Quentin Young sends it in. Oh, and Brittany Grimm has been hit in the door. She's going around. She's trying to save it. She has to use some of the pit road exit to pull it in, and she manages to save it, and she's going again.
Number 91 of Quentin Young continues to be your leader as Cody Wenson takes a peek to the inside side-by-side off turn 4 for the lead.
Yeah, and it's the 88 and 91 again going at it. They've been side-by-side pretty much every lap for about the last 10 laps. And again, the 88's going to dip under Quentin Young, and he's going to go to the lead. Is coming off turn 2. It looks like Jesse Kaplan's going to get dead sideways again and hit the inside wall there. Yeah, and it looks like coming off of turn 2, he was limping that heavily damaged 02 car around. He got it just sideways, and it looks like the car just didn't want to try to come back. He hits it, or he hits the inside wall by the tire barrier, gets stuck, and looks like he's going to retire for the race. It does look like we're staying green, though.
Yeah, definitely. He was able to pull that car off and into the infield, so we are still green here, and Cody Wenson continues to lead.
Yeah, but Quentin Young is not letting him get out of his sights. There's only about 3 car lengths between the two at the start-finish line this last time by. There are 70 laps to go here, and Quentin Young barely touches the wall coming off of turn 2, but he is still in hot pursuit of Cody Wenson.
Yeah, definitely Quentin driving as hard as he can right now to catch your leader, Cody Wenson, but still plenty of time to go in this race, so we'll have to see what happens.
Absolutely. It looks like this is the time in the race when they really need to start controlling their emotions. It's been a very hectic, very on-edge start of this race. We've had a few cautions. Most everybody's been into the wall at least once. Now it looks like we might be getting a long green flag run in there. You need to take a few deep breaths and just focus on being in marks and some good laps underneath as the tires start to wear here.
Cody gets a bit wide off turn 2, and that's going to allow Quentin to almost, it looks like, into the rear bumper.
then further back in the pack, Pedro Oliveira, who was your pole serve for today's race. He did not get the lucky dog that last caution. He only has a little front end damage. Says, as coming through turn 4, he's going to slow it up and bring it to pit road. So it looks like whatever was wrong with that car still hasn't been fixed. That will pretty much secure it, though. There are only about 3 cars still on the lead lap or within a lap of the leaders. As coming off of turn 4, the 2 cars within range of each other, 91 and the 88, again are side by side going into turn 1. Quentin Young lifts, gives some room going into turn 1, and then tries to get a good exit off of turn 2, closes in on him, but wasn't able to pull next to him.
Yeah, Quentin definitely turning faster lap times than Cody is. Looks as if the best way to pass around here is the inside line, but we'll have to see how Quentin can make that work to his advantage.
Well, isn't these cars, from what we've seen, have gotten pretty loose? You know, the 3 wrecks that we've seen looked like cars getting loose. And when your car is loose, does going to the high line help the condition? Does it help your tire wear? And is it the preferred line if you're having trouble hanging on to your car?
Definitely, if you have a loose car, definitely the middle groove is a great experimental groove. If you have to take it as high as the 3rd groove, as little as it is here at Phoenix, but definitely, and I'm seeing Cody, he's definitely getting a little bit soft the corners, and he's moved it up a little bit compared to the start of this run, so we'll see if he can maybe start turning some faster lap times and maybe put some ground on Quentin as this run continues.
It does look like, though, they've settled down a bit. Their cars aren't getting as eccentric coming off the corners or going into it for Quentin's sake that last lap. And hopefully now they can just start putting some green flag laps under their belt. And now the 3rd place car right now, Brittany Grimm, she's been involved in a few cautions here. Her car is just completely destroyed. She is in 3rd place, but right now the leaders are catching her by over a 2nd lap. She's going into turn 3 right now. The leaders are not far away, and it looks like once she goes a lap down, it'll just be a 2-car race for the lead.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate for Brittany, and just looked like she was about to get back in the race, and then that incident off the restart really put a cave in her day, and she's bound to be caught by leaders in the next couple laps, as Cody has apparently stretched his lead out a little bit here as we continue to work lap 40 right now.
And as we ride on board with Quentin Young, it looks like as we're getting further on into this green flag run, the 88's about a 10th faster per lap. Occasionally, if he gets loose, it'll be about even. Quentin Young picked it up a 10th there, so they were essentially even. And this is when the mental games really start to come into play, when you have to not get distracted, not get tired, not get fatigued. You have to pay attention to your marks and know that for every little mistake you make over the long run in terms of tire wear, in terms of handling, it's going to start building up, and you're either going to gain on that person or start losing. As you watch the 91 close in a lot on the 88, that's Brittany Grimm, who's heavily damaged. She's in the midst of this. The 91's trying to get underneath her. She's in the wall. She hooks Quentin. Quentin's holding the brakes. He barely nudges the outside wall, and he comes to a stop in the middle of the dog leg. And it looks like caution will be out here.
Wow, and definitely Quentin not happy about that, and wow, I can't believe I just saw that right now.
Yeah, it looks emotions are getting the best of him right now. Quentin, those last few laps, was catching a leader, and it looks like coming out of the corner, Brittany was limping that car along. She gets into the outside wall, and as she pulled it off the wall, she hit the right rear quarter panel of Quentin Young. He did everything he could to keep it off the wall. He locked it down and just nudged the wall barely. he might be able to back to the pits and get it fixed. But right now, the emotions are getting the best of him, from what I can hear.
Yeah, it looked like Brittany might have hit like a gap in the wall where the wall bulges out off turn 2, and that can get a car sideways in a hurry. And looks like Quentin just had nowhere to go from there. And the best thing he could do was lock up the brakes and hope for the best.
I have to figure that when you've got a car that damaged, it just becomes very unpredictable on what it wants to do in any situation. So she knew that the leaders were coming. She wanted to give them room. Coming off the corner, she gave them all the room she could, but it looks like in doing that, she got into the wall, and it looks like the unstability or the damage on the car was too unpredictable for her to know that it was just going to turn left as she came off the corner there.
Yeah, these cars are not as stable as they usually are off turn 2. You know, when they're not damaged, and I can't imagine how they are while you're driving a really damaged car around this track. And definitely, I put no blame to Quentin though. That was just an innocent victim.
No, it certainly looks like he gave her quite a lot of room. He actually didn't pit that much time by, or he didn't pit that time by, so it must not be too much damage that he can feel. Interesting enough, Pedro Oliveira, pole sitter, he will now get the wave around plus the lucky dog, it sounds like. So he might go from 4 laps to 2 laps down here. Before that caution, he was actually running laps equivalent to the leader. So if he can somehow manage to get back on the lead lap, he is definitely a wild card to look at now.
Yeah, definitely, but he's going to have to hope for a couple cautions to come, and with the amount of cars in this field depleting as each and every caution goes along, he's gonna have to hope for a lot of luck.
Absolutely. We're on lap 44 of 100. We're working caution 5 right now. We'll be back after this quick commercial break.
Welcome back to the second round of the USRL Nationwide Series, and under caution here, working lap 46, about to get the green flag on lap 47. The number 88 of Cody Wenzen is about to lead the number 91 of Quentin Young to the green flag. Pace car pulls off. Cody leads them off in pace speed, and the green flag's in the air, and they're gone.
Yeah, and it looks like somebody who's taking advantage of this restart is Brittany Grimm. She's still pretty heavily damaged, but she is not giving up whatsoever, as the 91 right now gets a pretty sizable lead. The 88 car of Cody Wenzen, who's the second car on the lead lap, he was stuck behind a couple lap cars. Getting through that lap traffic is going to give Quentin Young about a 10-car length lead coming off of turn 4.
Definitely worked to the advantage of Quentin as he regains the lead after being involved in that last caution, and curious to see how that car will be handling now with still a little bit of damage, especially on that right rear with the spoiler. We'll see how much that damage affects his car.
Closing in on him pretty quickly right now is the 88 of Cody Wenzen. He did pit on that last caution. He's got some good rubber, and it looks like he's gaining on him quite a lot coming off of turn 4. The 91 looks like he really has a handful right now. That car doesn't look like it's perfectly fine. As he's on the apron through 1 and 2 now, he's doing everything he can to hold on to it.
Looks like Cody's taking his time, buying his time, and might make a move off into 3. No, he thinks not. And here he goes to the inside line.
Yeah, and he gets it done very easily as the 91 all the way from the outside wall to the apron, doing anything he can to find some place where the car wants to run right now. This is still the battle for the lead, despite his damage. It looks like he's still holding in there to an extent, at least.
When Cody comes across the line this time, we are halfway, and because of that last caution coming out, everyone pitted is good to go on fuel. So, very well. That could have been the last caution of the race, as we are now officially halfway.
And out on track right now. We only have 4 cars. Brittany Grimm is still trying to limp that car around. Pedro Oliveira, he is 3 laps down now. He's still running competitive lap times. He's going to need a lot of luck to get on the lead lap. Jesse Kaplan's on pit road, still fixing his heavy damage. Looks like all he's going to be able to do tonight is salvage some points.
Yeah, it looks like Quinton is hanging in there somewhat, but it's still pretty early in this run, and what I see is he's still getting pretty loose coming into 3 especially.
You know, it looked at the start of this run that his car wasn't all there. And as we get some more laps under these tires, as the tires start to build up pressure, his lap times are really starting to pick up now.
Yeah, definitely, and I was hearing him at practice. He says when he was practicing, he was aiming more for consistent lap times, and that's a great strategy to have, especially if you're setting a car up for the long run. And to Quinton's advantage, hopefully that damage won't hold him back, and he'll be able to maybe start eating into the lead that Cody Wenson is building right now.
Yeah, Quinton lost a lot of time on turn 2 that last lap. He got up high, had to lift to avoid getting into the wall, and that's going to about double Cody's lead now. As you know, you said we have got about 46 laps to go now. This very easily could go green all the way. Cody did top off, coming to get 1 to go right now, or coming to get 1 to go that previous caution. So that might be a determining factor in who wins this race.
Definitely, and also Cody, just to make sure, I know he's pulling Quinton right now. If you're Cody, you don't want to overuse your tires. There's a lot of the race left as we're coming to get 44 to go here, but the last thing you want to do if you're Cody is to use up those tires to where it gets later in the run and he's sliding around, and that could easily put Quinton back in this thing. So the best thing Cody can do right now is just be consistent and take care of his car.
Absolutely, and it looks like that's exactly what he's doing. He's putting down very consistent lap times right now. The tail end looks pretty stable, as I just heard some car in the wall. I'm still looking to try to see who it was.
And while we wait on that, the number 02 of Jesse Kaplan is back out on the track. They have done all the repairs they believe they can to that car, and he will now begin trying to possibly salvage some points here as this event rolls on.
Now, unfortunately, he is 27 laps down, but there is a possibility that he could pick up 1 spot or 2, depending on how Pedro and Brittany's races pan out in these next few laps. I just heard another car hit the wall coming off of turn 2.
So number 88 of Cody Wenson looks like he got a little bit tight off, and that's what I was talking about, taking care of your car. The last thing you want to do is come off a turn or something like that and hit the wall and knock the toe out, and that can definitely upset the car's handling and obviously hurt his chances of winning.
Oh, and looking back at the replay, he hit it pretty hard. That cost him at least about a half second that previous lap. Doesn't look like he's taking these corners quite as fast as he was right there. Now this is real interesting to see if he's damaged that machine.
Yeah, he's not getting very loose off the corner, which is a great sign. That's the first thing what you look for with toe damage is how the car behaves off the corner, and he needs to turn to good there, leaving plenty of room between his car and the wall, and he just has to continue to do that.
Yeah, and those the last lap by the start finish line, he was able to pull his lead on Quentin Young. As looking at Quentin Young, he is having a handful right now as he's into the turn 4 wall hard. His car looks just like it's all over the place right now.
Yeah, definitely that right rear splitter, spoiler damage, definitely impacting how that car handles the spoiler, one of the most critical parts of a stock car, and boy, you get damage to that. That definitely upsets the handling, and Quentin's feeling it right now as he continues to turn laps around this racetrack in second position.
And he was able to pick up his speed that last lap. I gotta think the last caution in which he was involved in, he nosed it into the wall coming off of turn 2. We didn't see him on pit road trying to fix his damage for that long. He was only there for tires and fuel, and he went. It looks like he might be regretting that right now.
Yeah, it was a great heads-up awareness by him when he got hooked to hit the brakes. He could very well be sitting in the pits right now as Cody wins in the laps, the number 94 of Brittany Grimm, but when Quentin hit the brakes on that pretty much saved his car. His entire front end could have been smashed, and that could have been it for him, but great awareness by him to in that wreck, and that's one of the reasons why he's still out here running second.
Certainly, looking at the start of that wreck, you wouldn't think that his car would come away enough to at least maintain second. So it was really good driving on his part as he comes up on the car, the same exact up to where he got turned a few laps earlier, and he'll go around the outside of Brittany Grimm. She lifts, gives him plenty of room, and finally she'll go a lap down without incident there.
Yeah, Quentin went about as high as you can go there in the backstretch dogleg, and thankfully he gets by the lap car pretty easily, and unfortunately though now he is 3 seconds behind your current leader, Cody Munson.
And I'm still continuing to look at their lap times, and it really goes to show what smooth driving will do. Both of these drivers are over a second slower than what they started and what times they were hitting at the beginning of this run. These tires are clearly falling off a significant amount, and it looks like Cody is driving everything very, very easily, doing everything he can not to burn up his right front or right rear, and just make sure that for some reason at the end of this race he needs to use up a little more tire. He's got the rubber to give.
As you see that time, Quentin Young actually took his 10th and a half off of the Cody Winston's lead. Definitely if you're Cody, you don't want to take it too easy and allow Quentin to close the gap back up, and we'll just have to watch as the run goes on what he decides to do.
Yeah, it was Quentin Young needs to do what he was doing that last lap. He picked it up about 6/10 than what he was hitting earlier on in this run. And again, he picks it up pretty well there. Now he's on the apron going through 1 and 2. I don't know what line he's found to where he can run this pace, but if he can maintain this, he'll eventually catch up to the leader again.
Yeah, definitely. We still have over 30 laps to go, and whatever he's found or whatever he is going to help him get to the lead, now's the time to use it as the race continues to go on.
And right now, there really isn't any other battle on track we can follow right now. Brittany Grimm, she's a lap down, nursing a pretty heavily damaged car. Pedro Oliveira does not really have that badly of a damaged car, but he's 3 laps down. He spent time on pit road earlier this race fixing his damage. Jesse Kaplan is running 30 laps down. He is on track, just trying to get it to the finish. The 48, He is retired early after being involved in a couple of incidents early on in the race. And Ethan Lane, who we talked to earlier this race, his 22 Ford Mustang got turned, in his opinion, got turned going into turn 1 and backed into the fence, and it was a very, very early exit on lap 3 for his team.
Has come across the line that time. Cody has now extended his lead by pretty much 4 seconds over Quentin Young, as Quentin actually takes 2/10 off his lead that time. So definitely Quentin at times is faster than Cody, but consistency is the one thing that Quentin needs to work on if he's going to get to the rear bumper of Cody Winson.
Yeah, the gap is only 3.7 seconds there as we cross the line. It'll be 29 laps to go. We're going to step aside for a quick commercial break. We'll be back to bring you the finish right after this. And just as soon as we step away for a commercial break, the caution has flown here at the Phoenix International Raceway. Caution number 6 is for Jesse Kaplan, who has hit hard both the outside and inside wall coming off of turn 4.
Yeah, it was very strange when he hit it. It actually took his car and put it on pretty much on top of the turn 4 wall and almost flipped. He's luckily able to come down on all 4 tires and stop it on the inside wall.
It's not the first hard hit that 02 Jeff Ramsdell, My Little Pony Ford Mustang has taken today. But now this is going to be very interesting. We've got about 27 laps to go, maybe 25 when we go to green. Now this is when strategy actually will start to come into play here.
Yeah, and you were talking earlier how Pedro might be able to get a wave around and a lucky dog, and Brittany Grimm is actually electing to take the wave around. So if that is true, I believe Pedro would be your lucky dog, so he might get 2 laps back, on this caution. But as your 2 leaders of Cody Winson and Quentin Young are currently on pit road, 4 tires for both of them, and it'll be interesting to see if Quentin gets any of his damage done.
And as they drop the track on the left side, there's your answer. He just rolls off the pit road as the O2 is going to pull it behind the wall. Quentin Young apparently doesn't seem to think that damage is affecting his car at all.
Yes, there is the wave, and I'll leave it there. Will now be 1 lap on 2 your leaders. And under this caution, we're going to bring in the driver of the number 48, Brandon Smizer. Alright, here with Brandon Smizer, and Brandon, I know as the race got underway, we saw a lot of carnage, but what exactly happened to you early in the race?
I just got involved with that wreck with Ethan. When he went around, I don't know, I couldn't get it checked up in time. As soon as I started slowing down, it just slipped out from under me, the rear end.
Yeah, very unfortunate, and a lot of chaos to start off early in the race, and I know as the race has progressed, it's starting to get a lot more cleaner, but definitely I know you're currently 54 laps down. Do you plan on maybe getting points on maybe Jesse Kaplan, or is your night done?
For the most part, it's done. I think I'm just gonna chill out here and watch the race from the hauler and do some admin stuff, and that's pretty much it.
Alright, tough break for you, unfortunately. I know Phoenix is a 1-mile track. It's technically considered a short track. Are you a fan of short tracks, or was this a track you felt that was challenging to you?
Oh man, I love short tracks. Bristol is probably my favorite short track out of all of them, but I don't know. Phoenix's setup is just really loose this week. I don't know why, but this probably is not a track I'm going to like after this.
Yeah, definitely. 78-degree day. Definitely did not help the grip on these race cars. But as we've heard, you're done for the night. Is there anybody you'd like to thank? Any sponsors, people, and who makes it happen for the number 48?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Jamberry Nails, Shop.com, Brittanyville Gaming Computers, and my team for giving me a good car for the most part of the night.
Alright, awesome, and good luck to you as this league continues to roll on.
Alright, thank you.
And as we just watched, we took the green flag on lap 77. Cody Winston doesn't waste any time getting to a huge lead there, as the 91 of Quentin Young, who again has refused to get his damage fixed, is about 5 car lengths back going into turn 3. We're going to get about 24 to go this time by, and now it's time to, if you have anything left, you have to go for it.
Yeah, correction under caution. I said Pedro Oliveira was 1 lap down. He's actually still 2 laps down, so that was my fault. And Brittany Grimm is current positions. He's in 3rd position, but so far as we're working lap 78, early on in this run, it looks like Cody's pulling Quentin by quite a lot as this run is just underway.
Ooh, going into turn 3, Quentin overdrives turn 3 quite a lot, gets into the outside wall, brings it all the way back down to the apron, doing anything he can to try to catch the 88.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to use every bit of the racetrack and sometimes even the wall to help that car pick up speed. And as he's in the wall again there, and maybe trying to work this upper groove as I was talking about earlier. Maybe he's a little bit loose. As he's searching right now, that's for sure.
Yeah, it really reaffirmed our thoughts interviewing with Brandon that this setup is just apparently to them very, very loose, as they're going any which way they can right now to try to keep it going straight.
So it's a little part of the apron there. That's the OB of Jesse Kaplan, heavily damaged. It's been a very tough evening for him. He'll look to bring it down to the pit road. You know, with 20 laps to go for Cody Wenzen, he continues to expand his lead and just goes back to what he was doing before, staying consistent and allowing himself to, keep the car clean and hopefully bring home the victory for his part.
Yeah, the battle up front has grown into just a sizable lead for Cody Wenzen. Looks like he's got about 2-3 seconds over Quentin right now. And as we're taking, 18 to go right now, he's going to need some things to fall his way if he wants a chance to compete for this win.
Yes, we've just confirmed the O2 of Jesse Kaplan is officially done for the night, so he will finish in the 5th spot. And yes, he is indeedly done. That car is behind the wall for good evening, so tough break for Jesse.
And now the really only other battle we can watch on the track right now, which is actually a battle for 3rd place, would be between Brittany Grimm and Pedro Oliveira. She is a lap ahead of him, but she's heavily damaged. She's over a 1.5 seconds slower than him. And although it might be not as exciting as a battle for the lead, this still is a battle for the podium spot as Brittany gets very loose coming off of turn 3, gets it sideways, can't save it, and she gets stuck into the inside wall off the dog leg.
An unfortunate iRacing glitch allows you to get stuck in the wall, and it's an unfortunate break for her. As she's very upset on the radio there. It's been a frustrating day for her.
And there's still no caution out there. Her car is pretty thoroughly destroyed now. She hit that wall at a very high rate of speed, and unfortunately it doesn't look like she's going to be able to get out of there, so her race might be done.
Yeah, a little curious to see why the caution has not been thrown. As she is off the racing surface, but that car is still in the inside, not in the infield, and interesting to see what league admins do here. Yeah,
that will give Pedro Oliveira the 3rd spot just by default now, she won't be able to get back out on track. And it also means that the only battle on track right now is, fortunately, the battle for the lead between Cody Wenson and Quentin Young. That last time by, we got 15 laps to go. Quentin has 2.1 seconds to make up if he wants to try to battle for this win.
Definitely Quentin trying his hardest. It's really all he can do at this point. Car definitely damaged, been a tough day for him, but definitely comparing his practice speeds, he's definitely picked up a lot in this race, and that's always great to see. When you're running for a championship and you're running for points, improvement is the one word you speak of, and you want to continue to improve as races progress, and you want to be at your best when the race comes down to the end.
I'm looking Quentin right now. Although a few laps he'll be faster, it seems like every once in a while his car gets out of shape. Trying to save it, he loses a few tenths, and it looks like for every step he takes forward, he's taking one step back right now and trying to run down the leader.
Yeah, and Cody continuing to be consistent, not focusing on hot lapping it and driving it as hard as he can, focusing on just keeping all four fenders on the number 88, and hopefully bringing it home for victory.
Yeah, looking at the scoring sheet, his last 5 laps have been within a tenth of each other, which is just something as a crew chief you really want to see. It's just consistency, knowing he's hitting his marks, he's being as smooth as possible, and he's being as gentle as possible on his tires and engine and his gas bill.
As he gets a little bit sideways there, nothing too out of the ordinary, but like we said before, that's really the only battle, as Brittany Graham is behind the wall right now. Pedro Oliveira, your current point leader, to start this race, is still in the 3rd position, 2 laps down, and your battle for the lead continues to be Quentin and Cody.
And as they drove under the flag stand, flagman showed him the 10 to go sign, 10 laps to go now, as Quentin Young's going to need to pull something out of the hat if he can.
Yeah, he's definitely pretty much staying even now with Cody, and that's not going to help him right now. Being 2.7 seconds behind Cody, that means he would have to gain pretty much 2.5 tenths a lap to keep up with Cody, and judging by how that car is handling for Quentin, that seems like a very tall task.
Yeah, he is driving the rear wheels off this thing. He is doing everything he can to try to catch the leader. His last 2 laps actually were faster, but Cody is just being too consistent right now, it seems, to let Quentin try to reel him in.
That time by, I put 2 tenths on Quentin, and as we're nearing the end of this race, Cody definitely stepping it up, and to make him a champion. Never quit, keep going, and he's definitely still out there driving that 88 as consistent as he can.
Absolutely, even in this moment where it would be very easy to have just a brief lapse of concentration. There's really no other car out there he needs to worry about other than the one in his rearview mirror. And right now it's a very easy situation where a driver can lose concentration, and that's something he has shown no indication of doing. His lap times are consistent. You can look at him on the track. His line is consistent. He's just in the zone right now, and I don't see any hint that he might make a mistake that'll let him lose this race.
That last time by, Quentin Young was a tenth faster, and the lap before he was 3.5 tenths faster, so add that together and he's nearly picked up half the second in 2 laps, so definitely if it's go time, Quentin might run out of time here, but he's definitely got that car hooked up apparently right now.
Yeah, he's going to need to, unfortunately, even gaining on the lead, he's going to need to pick up that pace. Cody crosses the flag stand, going to pick up 5 to go this time by. Cody's lap times are slowing just a little bit, but it looks like he has a big enough a lead to where he can do that, knowing that he's not going to lose this race.
4/10 that time by Quentin Young. Definitely, he just got behind early as this run started, and I don't believe Quentin did get there.
It would be a tall order. It's 44 this time by. Quentin would have to pick up a half second per lap to try to catch him. He's doing all he can. That brute, that 91 car. That's just a crinkled up right side. It's got broken right front fender, right rear fenders knocked in. He's doing everything he can to limp that car around. And he's catching the leader while doing it.
3 to go at the line for Cody Wenzen, and that 2/10. Quentin knocked off the lead, but unfortunately, looks like he's going to run out of time as Cody Wenzen is 2.5 laps away from taking home round 2.
And it looked like the previous run before this caution, they were pretty even once they started to get going. Earlier in the run, it looks like Quentin had a very difficult time hanging on to the car. Before the tires could build up pressure and heat in them, it looked like his car was very loose. It doesn't appear like the damage his car had was complementing that whatsoever. And then last run, he was able to stay close enough to Cody that when the tires started to heat up, he didn't lose too much ground on him, and he was able to stay within reach of him. And now it looks, even though he's gained about a second in about the last 10 laps, it's just too big of a margin to overcome it. He did pick up a half second that last lap. I don't know if Cody's just taking it easy right now or what, but he's gained on him significantly.
Yeah, I don't know. Definitely, if I was Quentin, I wish this race was at least 101 laps, but Cody Wenzen's going to come out of turn 4. He'll hang on and win round 2 of the USRL Nationwide Series.
And that will be your winner, none other than the 88 of Tony Wenzen. In second place, we are talking about him. He just couldn't get that car under him for long enough to try to catch Cody. That would be Quentin Young.
Finishing third, last week's winner, Pedro Oliveira. 2 laps down, couldn't get that late race caution to put him back on the lead lap. Finishing fourth in tonight's event is Brittany Grimm in the number 94. Tough break for him, her, excuse me. She's been involved in quite a few wrecks tonight, and definitely unfortunate for her.
Yep, Jesse Kaplan in the O2 car. He was very strong early on. Got caught up in a wreck, wasn't able to get the damage fixed. And if we watch the 88 of Cody Wenzen do burnouts down the front stretch, bounces off the inside wall, but it doesn't matter. Race is over. He's just going to burn it down. Rounding out the finishers, we have the 48 of Brendan Schneider, who we talked to earlier. He gets caught up in an earlier wreck. Ethan Lane, the same for him on lap 3. He gets damaged. And then the 2 drivers who didn't start, Dalton Ingram and Eric Miller, did try to make an attempt, but weren't able to make the grid.
As we watch Cody Wenzen take the number 88 and burn it down on the front stretch, we'll take a quick break. We will catch up with some of the drivers in tonight's event. We'll be back.
And we're back here at round 2 of the USRL Nationwide Series. We're here with our winner, Cody Winston. Cody, you there?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Cody, it was a very long race. We had a few green flag runs and also a few crashes there. Over those last few green flag runs, what were you thinking there? You were running pretty consistent lap times.
Well, the car was just running really good all race. It felt on a rail for those runs. Kind of turned it down at the end there, and that's why he started gaining on me towards the end because I didn't want to make a mistake there. But I just want to thank Dark Horse Racing, which is my team, Shop.com, Jamberry Nails, Brittany Built Gaming Computers. Those are my sponsors. It was just a great race all around.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw earlier before before Quentin got into the wall earlier, you were both battling side by side very hard there. What was your mindset through those back and forth battles for the lead?
I just wanted to be consistent. Didn't want to run it up into the wall like I did early in the race. And I knew if I could be consistent, I had a car that could win this race.
Well, you executed that plan perfectly. That's tonight's winner in the number 88 National Guard Ford Mustang, Cody Winston. And we were not able to catch up with tonight's second place winner, but we do have our third place winner and our pole sitter, Pedro Oliveira. Pedro, you had a very fast car early on. You had to come down pit road during a green flag run to fix damage. What was your mindset there, trying to get back on the lead lap?
Yes, man. It's really disappointing because I didn't deserve a third place finish. I had a really, really good car. It was a very good qualifying lap. My car was really good in practice too. But, I had bad lucky. I was involved in an accident that it wasn't my fault. But, I had too much lucky in Daytona and I didn't have lucky here in Phoenix. I won't be able to race in Vegas, but I'll be able to race in Bristol, and I want to recuperate the point that I've lost.
Well, we'll absolutely look forward to seeing you at Bristol. You certainly didn't have great luck today, but you were absolutely a fast car. You proved it by sitting on pole. You see Europe car on the hood. Any other sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
I just want to better lucky for Bristol.
Alrighty, well that's tonight's third place finisher, Pedro Oliveira. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And tonight's fourth place finisher, who ironically enough might qualify for tonight's Ironman award, it is none other than Brittany Grimm. Brittany, you got caught up on a lap 3 incident, and for pretty much the majority of the race, you were doing your best to hang on to the lead lap, and finally at the end there, the car got away from you. How was the car hanging on there after that lap 3 incident?
Tonight I think I really drove the wheels off it. It was handling terrible. It was pushing toward the wall. The damage on lap 3 really just killed it. Unfortunately, it looked like Ethan Lane got dumped moving into 1, and I couldn't avoid him. Wheeled it as far as I could, and then coming off 4 with whatever that was, 10 laps to go, it just got away from me, and I couldn't lock it down in time. So, it was a shame.
Well, you certainly did do a valiant effort there trying to keep that very damaged race car under you for so long. Is there any sponsors you want to give a shout out to right now?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to shop.com. I want to give a shout out to my company, Brittany Built Gaming Computers, Jamberry Nails, Cryptive Colors, who painted my car, very crazy paint scheme, and my whole team at Dark Horse Racing. They do a great job to give us good setups and put on a good show every week. And I'll see you guys in Vegas, and I'm looking forward to the High Line at Vegas, and hopefully making a great comeback and finishing well. Unfortunately, the 91 just didn't seem to want to drive properly tonight, and so that's what you get when you race with people who can't drive.
Well, we'll certainly look to seeing that very brightly colored number 94 back at Vegas. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that'll wrap it up for tonight's broadcast of round 2 of the USRL Nationwide Series at Phoenix International Raceway. Next week we'll be at the 1.5-mile high-banked speedway of Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We look to see a great race among these drivers again. I'd like to thank my partners Shane Doty in having a great great broadcast despite the slightly smaller car count we'd hope to see, and I'd like to thank my producer Kay Springs. Any last thoughts before we come off air here, Shane?
Well, when you come to Phoenix, mile track, you expect hot conditions, and in that case, a lot of loose race cars. And tonight, a lot of people had problems keeping the car underneath themselves, and we saw a lot of wrecks, and it was a shame. But nonetheless, we saw great racing up front, and Cody Wenzen pulling off the victory.
Well, that'll wrap it up for the USRL Nationwide Series and CFI Productions. Thank you for joining us tonight. Good night.